Welcome to the Monday Monologue, and got a couple of things I want to talk about today. One is tube brands and which ones you can trust and which ones you can't. Now, I wish it was as simple as saying, hey, any of these made by X company is going to be good. But unfortunately, I can't say that. And I'll give an example, starting with EL34 tubes. I've tried a bunch of different EL34s, 6CA7s, KT77s, that whole family of tubes that fit into that socket and, are interchangeable. And to me, the best sounding ones that I've heard are the JJ EL34Ls. Just fantastic sounding tubes. And I've been running them for a couple of years in my EL34 6SQ7 amps, and they've just been flawless. Just fantastic tubes. But then on the other side of the coin, JJ makes a 5AR4 tube that is absolute junk. It's almost guaranteed to spark and arc over if the amp has any kind of power draw needs whatsoever. I mean, it probably would be okay if you're pulling 120 milliamps or something like that, but once you get over that, it's going to die as soon as you flip the power switch on. I've tried them in a KT88 SE amp, popped two of them, tried them in a 300B amp, same thing, blew up as soon as I turned on the power switch. And yeah, they're cheap, but they're just total junk. But again, they're super cheap. EL34Ls sound fantastic and are great tubes. Let's go with another manufacturer, Gold Lion. They make some fantastic KT88 tubes that just sound unbelievably good. They also make a really nice sounding 12AX7, which I've used in a couple of amps, and it's what I recommend putting in the first tube driver stage of that MusiShare X7. I mean, it just woke that amp up, switching to a Gold Lion tube there. But now I've had about 5 people email me with these R300s when they try the Gold Lion 300B tubes that they just instantly red plate with the bias even set lower than on the meter. So clearly they've got some problems with their 300B tubes. Electro-Harmonix, same thing. I've had some of their tubes that just sound fantastic. The Gold Pin 12AU7s sound just lovely. The regular standard ones that are in the little black boxes, they sound terrible. It's same manufacturer. And then, I have to wonder, are they actually being made by the same company? Or do we have rebranding going on here where people are, taking made in China tubes or buying them and having them stamped with their logos on them and then selling them as their products, using their name to get a premium for something that maybe is not premium? I don't know what's going on. And again, in this amp, Gold Lion 5AR4s, man, they're great tubes. But so are the Sovtecs, and the tube amp doctors are good too. Now, I haven't tried some of the other tube amp doctor tubes to see if they're good too. They've got a limited ability on testing all kinds of brands and different types of tubes. But I have found a pattern is you can't trust any manufacturer that all the tubes across their whole line are going to be good. So, next thing I wanted to talk about was my projects and project priorities. And just to let you guys know, while it's fun trying to do the detective work on these made in China amps and try to figure out what their issues are and how to elevate them more than they are, it can be very frustrating. And I'll use the example of the MusiShare X7. I thought I had that amp totally dialed in, and I got a note from the owner of it, said, sounds fantastic, it's all working great, but the switch replacement that you didn't resolve all the problem with the meter. Now the meter's acting flaky again already. And I know it's not the switch or the wiring. The meter itself's bad. I don't even know where you would get one to replace it with. He's okay. He bought one of those adapter things that you plug in the socket, and then you plug the tube in, and you can set the bias like that. It's just like, yeah, I'm done trying to make the meters work. It's like, the amp does sound fantastic with the work you did on it, so thank you. But it's just frustrating when the parts, and some of them are so junky, you don't know what's going to last and what's not. And you can fix part of it, and then a month later, some other part that's in that same area or that same circuit dies on you. And then the other thing is, this is just like repair work. And what I really love is doing fabrication and making something from scratch. And like, if you look at the inside of this amp, I mean, that's just beautiful. And, I get a lot of pride out of making stuff like this and just sitting down sometimes for hours. I bet I spent all afternoon yesterday installing a couple of capacitors and some of the heater wiring, and just taking my time and really trying to lay it out as nice as I can. And just the craftsmanship in that is really what I enjoy doing. And I know that reviewing and doing these mods on these China amps gets a ton of views on the channel, and that does help me be able to afford to do these other projects. But this is really my love, is doing this stuff. And so it's difficult for me to stop working on a project like this to jump on this, because I've got some viewers that are freaking out about their R300s after my first video, saying, hey, it looks like there's something weird going on here. And so y'all just need to be patient. I mean, I am doing a lot of this work as a service to the DIY hi-fi community, but I also need to do it for myself and do what I enjoy doing, which is this kind of stuff. And so please be patient as I try to balance the two, so I don't lose my interest on fighting with this kind of stuff when this is what I really love doing. Also wanted to bring up that I've been talking with the folks at Wilsonton, and they really do seem committed to making better products and improving their products. And to me, while some people might bash them for saying, why did you ever release something that wasn't perfect? That's just not the reality of the world. And when you look at anything that's in production, that's being commercially made, a lot of times there are design flaws that future models get ironed out. And I really feel like that they are not content with just pumping out the same thing. Like, let's talk about Rysong. They have to know that A50 is just junk the way it comes out of the box. And to make it a decent amplifier, it doesn't cost any more money. They just need to revise how they're making them. And to my knowledge, they're still making them with that junky Sun Audio J.C. Morrison schematic from 40 years ago that never worked well. And so, to me, that's a sign of a good company, in that they recognize that, hey, here's some things we could do better, and that they're listening to us, and they seem to be listening to me. And so hopefully I can have some influence on what their future products are like. So stay tuned for that. They're supposed to be sending me a improved R8, but I don't want to give out too big a spoiler. So just wanted to comment a little on that they have been in communication with me, and hopefully we can do some collaborating and bring better products to you guys in the future. So anyway, that's kind of what I have today for the Monday monologue. Again, I want to try to get this KT120 monoblock setup done. And again, I'm going to build this first one with just some intermittent updates as I work along through it. And then we'll do a detailed build of the second one once I, kind of figured out how everything needs to be laid out in it. And I also will be able to test this one. And if it performs like I expect, I'm happy to release a bomb and stuff so you guys can get started building a pair of these. I think these are going to be awesome. And like I said in another video, I think I'm going to sell this pair of monoblocks when I'm done. And I'd love to hear in the comments what y'all think a really nice pair of custom-made KT120 monoblocks, complete with tubes and everything, would be worth. I'm curious to see what people think. I have an idea what I think they're worth, but I want to see what y'all say first. So anyway, hope you're enjoying this channel. Hope you're enjoying all my content. I know I have a good time bringing this stuff to you guys. I want to thank all you Patreon folks. Also want to thank the folks that donate to my website, because that's what allows me to be able to build stuff like these DIY projects. Also, thanks to folks that forward products like this for me to be able to update and review for the channel. I know y'all love watching this kind of content. So if you haven't, please subscribe. Please like the video. And we'll see you on the next Monday monologue.